Welcome back everyone to another episode of Russian Garage. Today we're continuing to work on our 2019 Ram. Last episode we got all of our parts finally painted, so now we got to reassemble it. The first part that we're going to do is we got our whole interiors taken apart. We already got our seat covers back from the upholstery guy. He sewed them up on, let's see here, sewed up this side. Can't even tell that it was ever deployed. He knows exactly, he does these all the time, knows exactly what to use. So he got these all sewn up for us. So we gotta put those airbags in there, put those seat covers back on. We're also gonna replace these roof curtain airbags, and we're gonna reassemble the whole interior. Once we have all that done, that way the doors are not in the way or anything else, and we don't scratch anything. So that's why we're gonna do the interior complete. And then we'll start reassembling the doors, and then the bed, and then all the other little pieces. So that's the plan for this episode. Let's get to work. Alright guys, so we're going to start off with these curtain airbags. In order to replace these, we're going to actually have to take the truck apart even further, a little bit more. We're going to have to take apart these pillar covers here on the B pillars, on the A pillars, and possibly even the cab corners. In order so we can get this headliner down far enough that we can replace those. Once we have the headliner back in place where it needs to be, we can start reassembling it, and then we'll move our way to the seat airbags and the covers themselves. Those are the two most critical parts in this reassembly, is the airbags themselves, and then the rest should just come together. Alright, so we got our headliner dropped. We're not going to take it out of the car, not going to unhook the harness or anything. We got it dropped just enough. We got the old airbags removed out of there. Now it's time to put the new airbags in. This is what a curtain airbag looks like, if you ever were wondering. Basically it has the igniter right there, and then the rest is the pillow. So let's go ahead and put this one in. Alright guys, so we got both our airbags installed. Everything's in there securely. We gotta always make sure that we got the plugs in there and that the red tab is pushed in. Otherwise they will not work, and then you're gonna have to take all this back apart. Alright, so let's get this headliner back up and start reassembling the trim pieces. Alright guys, so we got the whole headliner back in. Now to finish up these pillars here, we need to reinstall the seat belts, which we sent off to have reset. So there they are. So we're going to go ahead and package those, get those installed, and that way we can get the rest of that trim done. And then we can keep moving forward. Alright guys, so now we're ready to install the driver's side seat cover along with the seat airbag. The first thing that we gotta do is we gotta install this seat cover. So what we'll do is slip that on here like that. Alright, I wish it was that easy, but it's not. Just simply slipping it on there, because we got to get all this to sit into the groove. And in order to do that, if you guys remember, when we're removing it they had, well, so basically we got like these little fuzzy sticky things that will stick here and keep it in place. But more importantly, we have these plastic tabs right here that need to be attached to this metal piece that's inside the seat. Right there, there's a whole bunch of them. We don't have the actual tool to put those metal clips in there. So what we do is we just use zip ties. You're not gonna, you might think, you know, when you sit in it, you're gonna feel this lock. You're not, because this groove is very thick. And on top of that, when we put them in there, we'll get it as tight as possible, cut it off, and then we'll turn the tab inside, and they hold just as good as those metal clips. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and put all these in, and then we'll come back to it. Alright guys, so we got our seat installed. You can see this whole line that we had to attach to there and there. It's all nice and tight, exactly where it needs to be. So now we got to install the airbag. This is the seat curtain airbag. That's what it looks like, and it attaches inside of here. So we got to slip it into this pouch. Has those holes in there, and then another one wraps over it. But then we got to make sure, most importantly, to actually hook it up. Okay, got the safety clipped in there. So now we got to feed it through here. And it comes in through there, and we got two 10mm. Alright, now that we got our airbag installed there, nice and exactly where it needs to be, now we got to button up the back of it. We got a series of these little belts that just clip onto the frame like that. Then we have this one. We have these two. They're a little tricky. They actually have to go curve in and go. Basically, they clip onto this. So you gotta kind of. It's a little difficult, but you can get it in there. Clip that in, and then at the bottom, the part that comes from the bottom of the front will come together and clip with this. And then we just gotta take these two zippers. I'll just be using this kind of hook because it has nothing to grab onto it. So I'm going to use the hook and very carefully, basically like that, and start zipping it together. Alright, so we got our doors hung. Everything looks real good. Got a good color match between the cab and the door, since we did paint them at different times. Alright, next part, we got to put these doors completely together, because as you guys know, they're just empty shells. So we're going to go ahead and put those together. That way we can start putting the windows up. We're not afraid if it's outside and it starts raining. So with the back door, one of the things with this is I had a little bit of a hard time taking it apart or actually getting the glass out. This is the very first piece that needs to go in there, or the very last piece that comes out, just because they have, what I figured out is they have this extra little groove right here, and this allows this glass to actually go in there. So we got to put this in and then put everything else back in. Now that we got our glass in, we're going to go ahead and put these rubbers in here, the guides for the glass. That way we can slide it up and put the suction cup on there. That way we can get the rest of the door put together. We're making some good progress on the Ram. We got the doors reassembled. Dirty, but everything's there, everything's on there. The door shuts nice, opens nice, so that's good. Front door, got the smart key, that works. Lock it, works. So, got the front door reassembled. Everything works. Actually got the parking brake back on there too. Got the fenders on there, got all the gaps nice and even. Got it as best as we could with the hood, but I mean this is from the factory like that, so not much I can do with it. And this is a brand new fender, and that's the hood. We did not paint the hood because it is a pretty small surface here, so it's a pretty good color match. We got all of our headlights installed. We got the active shutters in there, the frame for the bumper, other headlight, other fender. Probably going to close up this gap just a little bit more, but otherwise it's looking good. So the next part is going to be to get that bed back on there and get the taillights and everything else and the tailgate reassembled. We're finally ready to get the bed of the truck, made it back onto the truck. That way it's going to be all together. We can start putting the gas filler door on there, the taillights, the tailgate, starting to get everything all back into one piece. So let's go ahead and get our lift up like we did last time, raise up the bed as high as we can, and then we'll air out our air suspension so we can get this bed back on. Alright, so we got the bed strapped up just like we did when we took it off. So let's go ahead and lift it up off this cart. Got our truck nice and lined up, nice and straight along with the bed, very close. It still has a little bit of movement, so we got it good. So let's air out the air suspension now. So we're completely aired down, so let's start slowly backing it up and lining this bed up. Alright guys, so I got a perfect fit. We got it on there perfectly without touching the truck itself, without scraping the backs of the bed on the bumper. So now we're gonna go ahead and get the lift all the way back up, get it aired back up, and then we'll put it on the lift. That way we can secure it down to the frame. The holes are kind of small, but I can see on there, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but basically you can see the mark from where the bolt was, and it looks like every single one of them is matching up perfectly. So we're just going to go ahead and get those bolts in, and the bed will be secured. Alright guys, now that we got the bed attached to the truck, we're going to go ahead and get our taillight installed. We're going to get all these bump stops installed back in there, the gas door, basically all the little small things. Then we'll come back to it and we'll get this tailgate back on and we can test it out to make sure that everything works. Alright, now that we got the bed reassembled, let's give everything a try. Make sure that the power tailgate works, the shocks work. Now let's test out our taillights because we did unhook the harnesses, so let's test out if those work. Alright, and let's see if this backup camera works. Alright, camera's working. Seems like everything's working just like it should, so we're good to go. Let's continue reassembling. Alright guys, so we got our new bumper, we got our old bumper. We are going to be reusing the center grill. These basically there's still pieces that we got to take off of here and see what we're missing, because originally I thought this was going to be okay, but it's obviously not, so we're going to see if I can order this. But we're going to go ahead and transfer everything from here to there that we can use. I want to get this bumper on because I can't wait to give that truck the first test drive. I want to see what it drives like. Another thing, I kept on looking at it. Normally all these chrome bumpers, they're just chrome or metal inside. This one, it actually looks like there's undercoating. I'm guessing it's to help it so it doesn't rust out. So, good job Dodge, or Ram, Fiat. So we got the bumper on there. It's all nice and sturdy on there. When we were actually fitting it on the frame, we only had it attached with 2 bolts here and 1 there. And I was wondering, man, this thing is so flimsy on the edges. But it turns out that this fog light bracket actually has a pretty heavy duty metal bracket that's part of it. And now it's nice and sturdy. And we're ready to put this grill on there and the top piece. And then the whole truck will look like a truck then. Alright, the gap is nice and even between the bumper and the grill. We'll go ahead and get this secured with all the bolts and everything, and then we'll clip in these filler pieces. Alright guys, so we got the Ram put together. It's looking real good, looking exactly like what it's supposed to before the accident. So really happy with how everything is turning out. So now the moment that I've been waiting for, I'm going to give it that first test drive, see how it feels, and then we'll come back to the shop. Alright, take it for a drive. Alright, so we're definitely going to need an alignment. The steering wheel's a little bit crooked, it's pulling a little bit to the left. But again, no big deal. You just drop that off and they'll get that all straightened out. Man, I can't get enough of that backup camera. I know I said it in the first video, but that's the nicest backup camera that I've had on any car. Transmission shifting nice and smooth, just like what you would expect from a 3,000 mile car. Noises, no thumps, no clunks. I think everything is good to go. We just got to get that alignment done. Alright guys, so that's it for this episode. We got the Ram all assembled. It's ready to go. We took our first test drive. Good first impressions. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you don't miss the next episode. If you're already subscribed, thank you for watching. And make sure you don't miss the next one. We actually are going to be doing some custom touches to this truck. We got some new rims, some new tires. We're going to do a lift kit. The lift kit should be interesting because the only lift kits that are available are for the 4-wheel drive. And ours is a 2-wheel drive. We're going to take a chance because we kind of compared them. we think it's going to fit. But stay tuned to the next episode to see if it actually works or not. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next episode.